Hi guys, you are welcome to Straight from the Heart. This is a podcast about issues bothering us as individuals, from work to family, relationships, spirituality, psychology, you name it. I'll be helping you find answers to these problems using words and poetry. And I would also be citing real stories here on the podcast weekly. Now, before we delve into all of that, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Poetrapy, and you can also find this podcast for repeats and playbacks on the YouTube channel and also on the Poetrapy page, Poetrapy on Instagram. We will be talking about stretched marks. Now, what exactly are stretched marks? Today's topic has nothing to do with your skin in the way you think. So to all my slay queens, all you banging buddy, wash butt ab ladies and guys out there, I'm so sorry that this is not as superficial as you think it is. It is actually deeper. Today we are looking at stretched marks. Now, what you're about to hear may be cold. It may be sad, but I kid you not. It is the raw, unimagined reality that many of us live in.
Where the church was, because we go there weekdays, every Sunday. And then there was this hotel attendant, a guy. He said, come, my boy, let me show you something. So we went upstairs, and then he said, watch this video. And it turned out to be a porn video. And then he asked the question, can we do the same? And out of my inquisitive being or mind, I just told him, but that's a man and a woman. We are both men. He said, doesn't matter. You would enjoy it. All of a sudden, he pulled down his pants and he was...
So mine was when I was in secondary school. I still have that image in my head. I remember, I'm not guessing. I know, I remember my cousin. Yes, my cousin. He was, I think, almost 8-9 years older than I was. And then he would always come to the house to spend the holiday. And each time I was always scared every time he would visit because I always knew what was, facing me. And each time I look back now, I look at my mom with so much I look at my mom and I'm so angry. I'm like, why didn't you see? Why didn't you notice it? Why weren't you careful with me?
So growing up as a teenager in an African setting, there are many challenges that you have to face, particularly when you get into adolescence. I remember when I was about 14, when I started having penile erections and wet dreams. There was nobody to talk to. My father was late. My elder brother was out of the country. My other siblings who, would have been spoken to were all grown and gone out of the house, uni, NYC, and the rest of it. So it was just me and my mom. And, you can imagine me going to my mom and saying, Mom, I just had a wet dream, or I just had a penile erection. Of course, her first reaction was, hey, blood of Jesus. And that most likely would be a typical response from every African parent. That made me look for answers to my sexuality in all the wrong places. I started to read pornographic magazines, hung around my friends who were my age mates, and everybody started talking about their different explorations. And then...
Hi, Maureen. So this is my story. It first started, when I remember, it first started in primary school. And then I remember correctly, one of my primary school teachers, Mr. Ayande, he got fired after I told my then big cousin about it, but we couldn't tell my parents. So that happened. And so it was from my classmates to Mr. Ayande. Then I had neighbors, Chibike, then blessing, and then it didn't stop there. I had my cousins, my older cousins. I had my young cousin. It didn't stop there. So it happened again in secondary school, and it was a military school, so we had the soldiers and some teachers, filling you up, and again it happened in it almost happened in the university, but I was able to control a lot of the actions. I was able to fight, but then it came back again now that I'm working. So I don't ever remember any time when I was never molested. And it makes me feel dirty. It makes me feel jumpy and scared. And oh God, Murray, the nightmares are the worst. The bedwetting, these are things that I've had to struggle with all through my life. Things I've had to deal with, all through my life. And I don't know if it's ever gonna stop. So I bury myself in my work just to have the pain go away. Every time I look back, I just...
Okay, so I was in primary 3 back then, and we had an aunt living with us, my mom's youngest sister was living with us. She was way older. She was in secondary school already at that time. So, of course, there was a time my mom and dad were not around. They traveled. I can't remember where they went to, but they were not in town. So we had to stay in a neighbor's place. Now, myself and herself had to share a room. And in the middle of the night, she came, took off my pants, and I was wondering what was going on. And she laid on top of me. I was rubbing her private parts against my genitals and whatever. And it felt good. So since then, this is well over 30 years ago. I've not seen her. We became distant from that point on.
I feel like nobody should ever know this, and it's so sad because I feel very worn out. And I feel like I was robbed in some sort of way, and I feel like something was taken from me. And I didn't get to decide whether I wanted to, it felt like I didn't get to, to say, oh, you make conscious decisions when you want to have sex and all of that. And I just felt like I didn't get to have that power for myself. And it felt like I was constantly fighting this. And at some point, I feel like I repressed this because, the first person, or at least to my knowledge, the first person that ever did this was a 3-year-old. Would you hold respect?
I know. That was heart-wrenching. It was the same for me. Speaking to these victims was not an easy journey for me, but I knew that their stories needed to be heard. Because there's a million other people out there who are dealing with the same thing. I felt this was a window to help them see that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Now, according to a 2018 research, 1 in 5 girls and 1 in 20 boys have been victims of childhood sexual abuse. Now, children between the ages of 7 and 13 are more at risk, with 95% of children being abused by someone that they know. According to this 2018 research, girls who have been sexually abused may become sexually active and the boys may act out. Very, very sad. Now, when it comes to molestation, there's so much negative impact. There's so much mental drain and imbalance. There's always a constant feeling of dirt, of regret, of guilt, a feeling that you could have done things better, a feeling that you could have done more for yourself, a feeling of incompleteness. And you constantly live your life trying to fix things, trying to fix this brokenness, trying to clean off the marks. You try to stop it from stretching so far, painfully, unrelentingly. But hey, you who have been molested, I need you to know this. It is not a cancerous stretch. Unlike cancer, the cure isn't as painful as chemo. Neither is it as draining. The stretching can be stopped, and the marks can be less visible. What about the pains? That too can be replaced with the sunnier, brighter emotions. So if you've been through molestation, or you know anyone who's been molested as a child, who now is an adult, I need you to listen to this. Communicating your pain through prayers can really help. Whatever religion that you belong to, you need to speak to a being that is greater than that pain. And that is where I want you to draw your strength from today. First, from communicating your pain through prayers. Also, don't try to suppress your memories. Don't try to kick them to the curb. You need to remember these encounters. You need to remember these situations. You need to acknowledge that it happened. Allow yourself to feel however you want to feel. You have to get real with your pain, because that is where healing begins from. Also, know that you cannot possibly hold it all in. So find an outlet. Sing it in a song if you can sing. Write it in a journal, a poem. Speak to someone. Speak to others who have felt this. That is an outlet for you. That is a getaway for some of your bottled up emotions to find a way out of you. It makes the journey of healing easier. Also, you need to know that you have to sanitize your circle. What this means is you have to screen all those you allow in your life and ensure that you allow only those with positive vibes. At this point, you have to say this to yourself. Bad energy, stay far away. It has to stay far away. You don't need it. Also, your body needs the best possible treatment. I get it. A lot of the victims have talked about how they feel dirty, how they feel used, broken. But you need to realize that this body is where the healing starts from. So you need to treat your body right. Because any form of maltreatment or ill treatment meted to your body makes you automatically as guilty as the one who molested you. So treat your body with respect and love yourself. Also, find an expressive art, and this will help you express your pain. By doing this, it helps you reduce the level of pent-up emotions inside of you. And of course, use words of affirmation. Today, I want to tell yourself that you are resilient. You will not break under any vices. You cannot be controlled by anyone because your body is yours. And because in your mind's eye, you can see that you are beautiful. And then finally, I need you to remember that it is not rocket science. It is a journey. It is a process. You need to learn to trust the process. It is not and would never be immediate. So you need to know that you will surely get there. Now, I hope that has been very healing and that has been very renewing for you, for those of you who have been through molestation. If you have enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and also follow on Instagram at Poetrapy. Feel free to turn on the post notifications to be notified of new episodes. rate and review this podcast, and also share with your friends and loved ones. I hope you have now learned to handle everyday matters. Go out there and be you. Till I come again next week, remember, this is Straight from the Heart, a House of Poetrapy initiative.